There were 56 chairs arranged for the funeral. I know because I counted them while everyone else was crying. Karina insisted on the silver trim folding chairs. She said they looked better in photos. Only 55 seats were filled though. The empty one next to her was supposed to be mine. But the usher had been told not to seat me there. Apparently it would make things awkward. Awkward? Like planning a divorce while attending your father's funeral isn't already awkward. So instead of sitting with the family, I stood in the back of the room. Not with relatives. Not even with distant cousins. Just me, a tall ficus tree, and a stranger who once dated Karina's uncle in the 90s. The funeral program even spelled my last name wrong. When Karina got up to speak about her father, Glenn Darby, billionaire oil tycoon, she didn't mention me once. Not in the thank yous. Not in the list of surviving family. Not even a glance in my direction. She cried perfectly. Just enough emotion to look sincere, but not enough to ruin her makeup. When she sat back down, she leaned over and whispered something to the man sitting where I should have been. He laughed. I didn't know who he was. And honestly, at that moment, I didn't care. Because the real story started after the funeral ended. As everyone walked outside, Karina accidentally dropped her handkerchief right in front of me. I bent down to pick it up. That's when I noticed a document sticking out of her purse. A legal document. My name was printed on it. In bold, next to a case number. That's when it hit me. She had filed for divorce before the funeral even happened. Before the flowers. Before the speeches. Before pretending she still loved me. 2 days later she was supposed to inherit $250 million. And 2 days after that she would walk into our house, hand me an envelope, and calmly say, "Wendell, I'm choosing myself." But there was one thing Karina didn't expect. Her father's will. And that will had a surprise waiting for her. The night before the reading I barely slept. I was crashing on my cousin's pull-out couch in his basement, staring at the ceiling and wondering if I should even show up. What was the point? Karina already had everything. The house. The reputation. The life we built. But that document I saw with my name on it kept bothering me. Why would Glenn Darby, a man who once referred to me as the lawn ornament, include me in anything? The reading took place at his mansion on a private hill in Hampton Chase, the kind of place where the gates alone probably cost more than my childhood home. I wasn't allowed through the main entrance. They sent me through a side door usually used by catering staff. Inside the study were leather chairs, hunting trophies on the walls, and a massive grandfather clock ticking loudly in the corner. Karina was already there. No black dress this time. Just a sharp gray outfit like she had already moved on. Next to her sat the same man from the funeral. I noticed his shoes first. Expensive loafers with little gold details. The kind of shoes people wear when they want attention. No one greeted me when I entered. Not even the lawyer. He opened a thick envelope and began reading the will. First came the long list of assets. Vacation homes. Luxury apartments. Rare artwork. Cars worth more than anything I had ever owned. Then he reached the part everyone was waiting for. To my daughter, Karina Elise Darby, she leaned back in her chair like a queen about to receive her crown. I leave the sum of $1 million. Karina blinked. Just once. Did you mean 100 million? She asked. The lawyer calmly shook his head. No. 1 million. Then he opened another letter. It was written by Glenn himself. If you're hearing this, the letter said, I'm already gone. Over the past few weeks I watched my daughter change. She stopped visiting unless cameras were present. She brought another man into my home and laughed behind my back. I'm not a fool. You loved the inheritance more than you loved your father. And because of that, my money will not be your reward. Karina looked like the air had been knocked out of her lungs. Then the lawyer read the final line. To the man who married my daughter knowing one day she would despise him. the man who endured my cruelty with dignity, Wendell Thomas Carr. I leave the remainder of my estate. The room went completely silent. Karina stared at me like I had just grown horns. And just like that, the man she had already divorced became the owner of a $250 million empire.